Hello my friends and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to have a look at creating some MIDI drums. So a MIDI drum track is one of the projects that we have to do, so let's get busy. So I'm going to go to the drums section on my browser over here, and the session, I'm going to search for the session kit. Now the session kit is just going to be easy for us because it already sounds kind of acoustic. It's an acoustic sounding drum kit, so it'll make more convincing acoustic sounding drums. You don't have to use it, but it's a good start. Once that's there, we can minimize this, and I'm going to use this window today rather than the session view. I'm going to use the arrangement view. So to do that, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to make a selection that is 1 bar long, just 1 bar, okay? And then I'm going to go create, insert empty MIDI clip, and I'll create an empty MIDI clip in here that I can start drawing into. By double clicking it, the MIDI clip will appear down here. So hopefully you'll be used to this. I can resize this window by dragging it, by just selecting this bar here, pulling it up and down. Okay, so we can change the size of the grid. By default, the grid is on 1/16. You can right click it and you can change the size of the grid if you like, or you can use shortcuts, which I tend to use. You can see the shortcuts that are indicated here. Okay, so it's Command 1 and 2 to get it bigger and smaller. So I'll start off with an 1/8 note grid. And I'm just going to put in some hi-hats. And you can just pencil with B as your pencil, and you can just drag them in draw them all in with the pencil. I've already set my tempo to be 110 beats per minute, which is kind of, fast and slow. So now once I've drawn all of my hi-hat paddles in, I'm going to go off my pencil tool, go back to my arrow by pressing B, and I'm going to select, holding down Shift, I'm going to select every second one. So as long as I hold down Shift, it'll keep in a selection group, and then I can turn them down, and that'll give me a little bit of hi-hat accenting, and then I can hear my crash. All right, so if we listen, okay, now I can duplicate it, all right, by pressing Command and D, and in the duplicate I can get rid of the crash, or another way to do it is what I could do is I could go down here and go duplicate here. Duplicate. Well, it just duplicates it out again, but not here. To do it here, I'd have to drag it out. You see, so now there's 2 of them. Delete this one. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to duplicate. And then maybe here, I'll put in my pencil, B for biro, kick rim, kick rim, kick rim, and kick rim. All right. I think I'll move them along because I want this to go to 9. So I'm going to go like this, I think. All right, like that. And then on this last one here, I want some kind of roll. So I'm going to go slightly more. I'll go, let's say 16th. So I'll click in it and then go Command 1, and I get my 16ths. And I'll get these little toms out. We'll see what we can do. So I'm doing 16ths so as I can have them on a bit more of a shuffle, maybe, I don't know if this is going to work or not. And then I think I'll move these kicks, the kick around a bit. All right. So let's just have a quick listen. It'll do. Okay. Now I'm going to move on. I'm going to do another bit. I'm just going to copy this, paste it here, and in here, well actually I won't, I'll just copy over what we already have because we have the kick and the snare here. I'll just delete my rolls, and I think what I'll do is we'll up the speed now, we'll up the tempo, we'll up the energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it off the rim and onto the snare, right? And what I'll do is I'm going to get rid of all these hi-hats. I'm going to make them 16th notes. So we put in some 16th note hi-hats. I've got a lot of hi-hats now. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. Select every second one, holding Shift. And then I'm going to turn them down to create some easy accenting. And okay. We turn them down. So I select every second one, turn them down. Now, what I want to try and do here is I want to try and put in some little ghost notes and things like that, okay? So little little ghost notes like this. And they're on the 16th. Can you see that? Kind of on the 16th. So I'll just click it. When I click it, the blue line is its one. So quite often what I do is I just create it and then turn it down. I just find it easier. So I'm just going to create some ghost notes. Maybe one here. All right. Maybe we just see what it sounds like. Okay. Okay, let's have a look. A little bit better. All right. Now we're going to do one more. All right. Now I'm going to start putting in these rides. And on the rides, I'm going to put one in. You see, one, skip 2, 1. You can come up with your own little pattern. But that's just the pattern I'm going to use now. So I'm trying to teach you here that sometimes you can just use little patterns. Don't have to overly think about them. Just fill them up and see what happens. So let's have a listen. I'll change this crash maybe to that one. And I'm going to put in a Congo as well, I think, on the snare. Like that. All right. And then on the last one, I think I'll just put in some crashes like that. Big stack up here, you know. So now we'll go back and we'll just listen to it all. Okay, now we have a little kind of a drum pattern here now. It follows it's got a start, it follows blocks of 4. It uses some accenting, it's got some ghost notes, it's got a few little triplets and things like that. It's got a wide range of sounds, and it sounds like a drum kit. It sounds like a real rhythm. The last thing that I want to do is I want to put some swing onto it, some accenting, okay? Now we can put the accenting on each individual clip, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the clips. And when you select all of the clips, you can see that it says 8 clips selected here. And I like that. We get this kind of broken line here, or this kind of arrowed line, and it says the number of clips you're selected. And I think that's kind of useful because I can just put a groove onto them all at the same time then. So to find the grooves, you hit the little arrow, open up your browser, and they can be in 2 places. So if you're on live 10, the groove pool is here. You click it and then you right click and you'll get a menu that'll say, show the grooves or browse groove library. But it's slightly different in 11. In 11, the groove library is here. So it's just here. And we just delete. And so in here are a load of grooves. And because there's 8 selected at the same time, if I drag any one down, it will go on to all of them at the same time, which is kind of useful. So let's just have a quick listen to this section here. You hear a little shuffle there now. Not particularly nice. I think this one is nice. Try this one. Yeah. So this one is called Rock 4 Boogie. You may or may not have it. It doesn't really matter. Just go through them and just try and find one that you think sounds cool. You may have different ones. And that's it then. That's your kind of MIDI drum track done, my friends, okay? So we probably want about a minute of drums with that would, I can see an awful lot of techniques in there. The one thing that I haven't done so far with this session, that would probably bring you up to about a minute, is that I haven't put on any reverb or anything like that. I haven't done any processing of the sounds. So to process the sounds in a drum kit, what you can do is you can hit this little arrow here, right? Hold the tab to go over, hit this little arrow, and then you might have another little arrow, and hear all the individual sounds, okay? And so if you wanted, you could put, for example, a distortion on that kick. So let me go to the audio effects, and I will try and find a distortion, driving color. So I'll try and find some distortion that, you know. Go here, maybe try and put a pedal on it, just so. For example, find those little hi-hats, maybe. We could put a little phaser on them. Now you can just keep on going to your heart's content. What I'll do now is on the master, on the whole lot of it, what I might do is I might put a compressor. Okay, so I think in the brief it says, you know, to get the distinction criteria, you have to put on reverbs and distortions and things like that. You have to process the sounds. So give it a go, my friends. All I really wanted to show you today really was just construction the drum kit, okay? So give that a go. Bye now.